The silver box deals with the old proverbs that there is one law for the rich and another for the poor. So in that play, The Silver Books, he is presenting that big problem, which is that there is one law for the rich and another law for the poor. Now, another writer is Parker, Granville Parker, and he belonged to that group of dramatists like Galsworthy, who dealt with domestic tragedy and the problem plays. Though he wrote a number of plays of different sorts in collaboration with other playwrights, he occupies his place in modern drama mainly as a writer of 4 realistic plays. So he was known as a writer of 4 realistic plays. These plays are The Marrying of Anne T, The Vici Inheritance, Waste, and The Madras House. And each of these plays deals with a dominant problem of social life. So he was very interested in writing about social life. Now, the importance of Parker in the 20th century drama lies in his fine delineation of character and realistic style. His plays seem to be excerpts of real life to a greater extent than even those of Galsworthy. The dialogue is very natural and near to ordinary conversation. The life presented in those plays is the narrow and petty life lived by the upper middle class in England in his days. Now, another dramatist belonging to the same school as Galsworthy and Granville Parker is Mansfield. So, Mansfield is also another important dramatist, and he combines in himself high imagination and sternly classical spirit, passionate and enthusiasm, and cold logic, fantasy, and realism. Though he clings to the natural world and is a confirmed realist, he is wrapped in the spirit of mysticism. All these conflicting qualities are seen in his greatest play, The Tragedy of Nan, which is the best modern example of the form of domestic tragedy. Now, J.M. Barrie did not belong to any school of dramatists. This is another important writer, J.M. Barrie. And that writer was characterized by that he did not, as it is mentioned here, he did not belong to any school of dramatists. The best of his work is marked by imaginative fantasy, humor, and tender pathos. His most characteristic and original play is The Admirable Christians, a drawing room comedy in which the family butler is the hero. 3 other plays, Peter Pan, The Golden Bird, and The Golden Age, have the children's storybook characters in them, who are brought to life by the writer's skill. Now, moving to also again something about Barrie, and Barrie's last and most ambitious drama was The Boy David, in which he has given a fine picture of the candid soul of boyhood. As the play deals with a story from the Bible, which is well known, Barrie could not here effectively make use of the element of surprise, which is his strongest point in other plays. Now, on the whole, Barrie is a skilled technician. He discovered that in an age of affections, and pretensions, the theater goers needed the sincerity and innocence of childhood, and he earned his popularity by giving them what they needed. Now we need to know some model examples or model questions of the one that we have. That the first one is George Bernard Shaw died in 1950, 51, 52, 53, and the answer is A, which is 1950. Now these questions that you find at the end of each lecture are very important. So please pay attention to these questions that you have at the end of each lecture. Why? Because it helps you to be familiar with the type of questions that you are going to have in the final exam, and they are like making a quick revision on what we already explained in the lecture. So from that question, George Bernard Shaw died in 1950. Another question is also about George Bernard Shaw, who was born and brought up in, and giving you 4 countries. He was born and brought up in Britain, Ireland, France, Italy, and the answer is Ireland, of course. So George Bernard Shaw was born and brought up in Ireland. Okay, so with this we come to the end of our second lecture. And in that lecture we had more information about George Bernard Shaw. We moved to know something about Oscar Wilde and some other modern dramatists like Galsworthy, Mansfield, like Barry, and like Barker. Okay, so with these 2 lectures now we have full knowledge about the introduction to modern drama, and inshallah starting from lecture number 3 we will go directly to the analysis of the text under study, which is Doll's House by Ibsen. Thank you very much for being with me. I wish you a very pleasant time, either you listen to this lecture in the morning or even in the evening. Thank you very much, and see you inshallah soon in lecture number 3. Thank you very much again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.